I do start from zero every year. I don't keep any awards, any articles, any press clippings. I just don't do it because when people do that, they start looking at that saying, I'm successful. I'm only as successful as the next large change I cause.
People think of Vinod Khosla as a tech clairvoyant predicting the next large change. What they eventually realize, like I did, is that this venture capitalist is often causing these changes. As I venture up the leafy path of an exclusive-looking Silicon Valley address, I could not have predicted that the interiors of Khosla Ventures would be a pleasant purple.
I love that color. It's also a color, it's not corporate blue.
From betting on the internet back in the day, building and seeding companies like Sun Microsystems or Juniper Networks, and OpenAI today, Vinod Khosla is known for investing in a range of cutting-edge tech, AI, plant-based food, grocery apps, and climate technology. Through it all, there's one thing he isn't afraid of.
I'm not afraid of failure, and hence I'm willing to try things that might fail, may even have a high probability of failure.
Whether then or now, if there's a world problem with a science solution, it looks like this VC is listening. I don't have a pitch, but I'm here to ask the IIT, Carnegie Mellon and Stanford alum what life has taught him in this fast-changing world that he seems to see with his own lens.
I sort of fundamentally have a belief that most people in life are limited not by what they can do, but what they think they can do. So most people constrain themselves to doing less because they don't think it's possible. I always say I'd rather try and fail than fail to try. And most people just fail to try anything they really want because they don't think it will happen. It's sort of simple philosophy. I don't mind a 90% chance of failure in a business venture I start. If there's a 10% chance, it's transformative to the world.
What do you think is meaningful success? Everyone's chasing it today. What's meaningful? What would you tell what do you want the next generation to know?
Well, I think success means different things to different people. For me, it's not looking back. For example, if you walk into my office, you walk into anybody's office, they have their awards and certificates and IIT Delhi Alumni of the Year. I don't keep all that. I actually throw everything away. Those plaques from the Sun IPO or other IPOs, I throw everything away because I don't want to look back and rest on my laurels and what I've done in the past. I want to earn my stripes every single day, every single year, looking forward and doing new things. The more successful you are, the more people want to please you, the less they want to challenge you, the less they want to tell you when you're wrong. So you never learn because nobody ever challenges you. The more successful you are, the harder you have to work to keep current with what people are really thinking, what's really happening, and stay relevant to the young people and learn from them.
There must be so many people coming to you with their ideas. And I mean, back in the day, people might be handing business cards to you, but however people want to connect with you and meet you, it must be overwhelming for you. Yet how do you cut through all of that and connect with someone?
It's not overwhelming. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
It's a lot of fun to listen to all these ideas. And then they'll explain the science to you. Mm-hmm. You almost only do technology-driven innovation. Large innovation driven by technology is what I love. So every day somebody comes in and educates me on something. And I'm just an avid learner. Wow. Right? And so for me, my life is about, I'm a student every single day. Every single day I learn about a new area. It may be about RNA or DNA or sequencing, or it might be about producing fertilizer. I get educated by a wide diversity of scientists and technologists every single day. I can't imagine a better life than learning.
I love that. I have to say, you mentioned about yourself, and I was really surprised to hear that one of the biggest challenges for you is being seen as relevant to young innovators. I find that surprising because you have not just been relevant, you've been at the cutting edge of it, but yet you feel that's a challenge in today's youth-driven world. I imagine it maybe could be. Tell me a bit about.
As people get older, they get more arrogant, more like I deserve respect. I deserve to have my accomplishments recognized. And that's one way of being. My view is the most interesting ideas are coming from 20 and 30-year-olds. I want to understand and learn from them. So I'll hang out with them all the time so they teach me, and I'm relevant to them. So I know what's going on at the leading edge of young non-conventional thinking. Because all big ideas come from non-conventional thinking. People saying implausible things. So give you an idea, I just tweeted out 10 or 11 major predictions for the planet, including most cars in most cities will be replaced in the next 25 years. Now, that's an illogical prediction. But I have a mechanism to do it. I'm working with entrepreneurs to make it happen.
When it comes to technologies and innovations that you have backed and that you believe in, you're placing big bets. Is there a through line for these big bets that you take? Is there a gut instinct that you've honed over the years?
Each prediction has a very specific path to get there in my head, or some entrepreneur working on it, trying to make it happen. And if that entrepreneur fails, I'll back another one who does the same thing. Like, I'm not going to give up. It's a lot of fun. Nobody even believed the internet would be what it is today. Not a single other player in the world. Cisco, Alcatel, you pick anybody, weren't working on it and no customer wanted. And we said the world should be this way, and we built this router, and today the internet is TCP/IP. Wouldn't survive any other way. So we caused a large, in fact, I consider that the largest achievement in my life.
Wow.
Most people think of sun or something else. That, to me, is, I think we caused a real change in the way the world developed telecommunications and the internet. I'm very proud of that. And it's a lot of fun. When I looked at the forecasts of when strong AI would happen or strong AGI would happen, they range from 10 years to 75 years. So you sort of, I don't believe it depends on when something will happen. It depends on when you will make something happen.
Wow.
And everybody else says they should do X instead of I'm going to make X happen.
What does your Indian background mean to you? What does being Indian mean to you? And how much of that is still with you today here in Silicon Valley?
I am very Indian. Our family operates like a totally Indian family, every Indian tradition. We hang around a lot together, even more so than Indian families. For example, I'm in my kurta pajama 95% of the time when I'm at home. It's funny because when I put on something other than a kurta pajama, my dogs get really upset because they know I'm going out.
What do you think the world can learn from India?
India is a classic example of a developing country that whoever's foresight it was to put the IITs there, developed internal capability. When I was a kid in the 70s in India, you only read about somebody licensing some technology from the outside. I think India has proven it has the technical talent to develop its own technology. The PSLV rocket, for example, the moon mission. I think India can provide the world why education like the IITs provide can transform a society. By the way, the other really interesting thing to learn from India is the harmony of families. Like I can't overemphasize how much it contributes to real happiness. If, you don't need more things, you need more family, is sort of my view, and more dogs. So it's just, that's sort of the feeling that matters. That's the social norms are very valuable, I think. And breakdowns in Western society are often a result of the opposite norms. Everybody trying to be totally independent. Like, at 18, I'll kick my kids out of my house. I find that odd. I'm happy if my kids stay with me the whole life.
You're known as someone who sees ahead, who's ahead of the curve at the cutting edge of technology, who knows how people are going to behave and adopt new technologies en masse. Is there a pressure to be able to always see ahead?
I'm really just a science nerd. And I loved learning. I'll work on these problems. And I hope also in 25 years I can still ski. Yeah. I ran into a guy last season, 93, skiing on his 93rd birthday. Like, if you can do that and hike and do those things and learn every single day, there's no alternative that for me is better from a success point of view.
When you talk about technologies that mitigate the human impact on climate change, you seem to have an optimism about it. There's a lot of doom and gloom, no doubt. Are you optimistic for the future that we can turn this around?
I'm optimistic that we will have the capability to turn it around. I'll give you a whole bunch of examples. I talked about fusion. We can go into old coal plants and natural gas plants or diesel power plants and replace their boilers. That's easy adoption. When we go to plant protein, we save 89% of the carbon footprint and the water footprint of animal husbandry. So we can reduce the carbon footprint of agriculture. One of my favorite projects, to produce fertilizer from thin air. Like literally, so when you see lightning in a thunderstorm, the lightning causes nitrogen in the air and water in the air to turn into nitric acid, which is fertilizer. So we said, let's put lightning in a bottle. So we're literally putting lightning in these bottles and say we'll produce fertilizer out of thin air, only air and water, no other inputs, and a high-quality fertilizer that comes out. Now, it takes somebody almost ridiculous to try these things, but we're trying it. We're trying new ways to make steel. Not with coal, but with lasers. We have new ways to make cement that's actually cheaper and 80% lower carbon footprint. So cement, steel, cars, you name it. Food, agriculture, we're working on all those problems. Now, we won't succeed in all of those, but that's okay. I always say my willingness to fail is what allows me to succeed at these things. If I was afraid to fail, I wouldn't try.